my name is Tina Borophy.
And I'm Lynn Delong. We're your hosts for this week's Spotlight Edition.
We have a lot of interesting material for this week, but now we take you to Health Styles, a new service that offers physical care, nutritional classes, psychological help, and much more to those teens from 12 to 21. We take you now to our reporter interviewing two coordinators from Health Styles Services.
Hi, and welcome to today's special segment on Health Styles. I'm Dana Neal, and with me is Rose Barunda, the health facilitator, and Mimi Schwartz, the program coordinator. Could you please explain to our viewers what Health Styles is and how it can improve our school?
Yes, Shirley. Health Style is an adolescent risk reduction program. It's here to serve teenagers from the ages of 12 through 21 in eastern Contra Costa County. As you probably know, there are a lot of concern right now about health and how to keep oneself healthy. There are major causes of disease such as heart attacks and lung disease, which people, when they act appropriately, can actually help to prevent. How you can do this is by watching your behavior in terms of whether or not you smoke or how much you drink, if you drink at all. And what Health Style is here is to provide information to teens in Antioch High School about smoking and drinking, as well as various other health concerns, so that they can use this information to make their own decisions about what's right for them.
Health facilitators such as myself and two other ladies, Deborah Gonzaga and Janetta Yanez, we have office hours Monday through Friday, 11:30 to 1:30. And what we do is we provide information for students who have any health concerns, whether it be their own or friends or their family. And we also give referrals to any agency if we can't help them ourselves. We have contacts with other agencies. And also we do provide information to the classes. As Mimi has mentioned, we have presentations in courses when requested.
We also will be having after-school activities as another way of trying to get teens involved in their health. And these will be starting up at the end of January, beginning of February. And in addition to that, we have a health risk appraisal, which will be designed both for adults, such as the teachers of Antioch High School, and parents of students here, so that they can take the health risk appraisal to have a gauge as to how healthy they are right now, and perhaps some areas that need some improvement, or they can do some things to change. And we'll be working with them to provide them with resources here in the community, such as if they want to go and have a stop smoking clinic. We'll be working with them on that so that that opportunity will be made available.
Okay. I also understand you have a teen clinic available. Could you tell us a little about it and where it's located?
Yeah, that's our TAP clinic. TAP stands for Teenage Program. And what we provide is a comprehensive physical. The clinic that the Antioch students would go to is located at 118 Park Way in Brentwood. And the phone number, if they would like to make an appointment, is at 634-6181. And what we provide is various professional services, including dental, social emotional, and also any nutritional screening that the student may need. And besides the professional services, we also include a educational process for the student, where the student can take part in his exam. We can actually know what the person is looking for when they're being examined. Maybe can you add anything else on it?
Yeah, you emphasized one of the things I'd like to include too. The fact is that usually when you go to the doctor, they usually go through the process of examining you without explaining to you what they are doing at each step of the way. And the TAP clinic is unique in that what we try to do is involve the students. Frequently we have one of the students look into another of the patient's eyes to see what the examiner is looking for when they look into your eyes or when they look into your ears. So we encourage people to ask questions, and we encourage them to get involved. And there's a interest center that's part of the clinic that provides information so that they can find out some nutritional information, let's say, about what consists of a balanced diet, as well as interact with other teens and find out what their concerns are too.
Okay, nutrition is a big interest these days, and you said it was a big part of the program, but emotional health is as important as physical health. Does your service go into this subject? Or?
Yes, we do. As part of the Health Style program, we have a counselor who's available to anybody who'd like to contact them, and he will be able to make suggestions or supply alternatives for teens who have certain concerns. Teens during this time of life are undergoing a lot of stress. There's a lot of choices, a lot of decisions which they're being asked to make. Sometimes teens are always being asked, what are you going to do with the rest of your life, or what are you going to do after you finish school? And it's a time when there's sometimes not enough information for them to make a decision or to know what decision they should be making. So we want to really encourage more awareness about the types of stresses that the teenagers have, as well as encourage them to talk with Health Style staff about what their concerns are, and hopefully we can aid them in providing some choices. As part of the presentations that we talked about before, we have a decision-making presentation which could be helpful to teens in working out some of their own concerns.
Okay. Did you have something to add?
Yeah, I just wanted to add that all our services are confidential. If somebody comes to see us too.
Well, you've provided us with some very valuable information, and we'd like to thank you for taking the time to talk to our viewers.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Dana.
This week on Feedback, our on-the-street interviewer will be presenting a topic we all make but can't keep: New Year's resolutions.
What are your New Year's resolutions?
One is to bring my grades up, and two is to keep all the friends that I have and to make new friends with people that I haven't really known that long.
Stay out of trouble, do my best in school. How are you doing with them? Just fine so far.
Well, actually,
How are you doing?
well, we'll see when the weekend comes around.
I only had one New Year's resolution this year, and that was to quit hitting my boyfriend, and I already blew it, so I guess I'm going to have to give up on New Year's resolutions.
What does that mean? You're going to resort to leather and...
Not missing any concerts.
How are you doing so far?
Very good.
Try to go skiing every weekend.
How are you doing so far?
3 for 4.
Where have you been?
Sugar Bowl, Sierra twice, and working on Kirkwood.
I don't know. Quit smoking.
To have a great senior year.
All right, go eat.
Juniors and seniors, are the scholastic aptitude tests really bringing you down? Well, this week we bring you important information on the CEX college entrance exams.
Hello, my name is Stephanie Blalock, and I'm here with Miss Linda Jackson, a counselor at Antioch High School. Mrs. Jackson, I understand there are some important deadlines concerning college entrance requirements. Could you please tell us when a senior should start applying to a college or university?
Yes, it's a little late because the initial time to apply to the state universities or to the University of California is during the month of November. That's November 1 through 30th. So right now, if a senior is still interested in a four-year school, they should come in and see their counselor, because we're going to probably contact that school to make sure that they're still accepting applications. Now, before you ask me any other questions, I'm going to show you a guide that I know I told you about when you came in and saw me earlier this fall, and that we have tried to tell all the seniors that they should be picking up this guide in the Career Center. Now, this is what's called the Bay Area Junior Senior Guide. This is a very important guide, and I know the students have really appreciated the information that's in it. And there's information on employment, there's information on how to choose a college, what colleges and universities are available, tells about the college entrance test. It also, I'm trying to think of some of the other information, but it goes on and it explains financial aid, it talks about the vocabulary, and we just really use this guide a lot. And I would tell you, if you haven't picked one up, to be sure and go to our Career Center and pick one of these up.
If a senior is interested in attending a private university or college, would their deadline be any different?
Yes, just as the guide would tell you that the private universities, they have what is called an open enrollment. Now, we have a little pamphlet that we will give out to the students that ask, but it tells about the application period, it tells the cost, the number of students that are attending the university and what type of college entrance tests that you should take.
I understand that there are two college entrance exams, the Scholastic Aptitude Test and the American College Test.
Right.
Any senior applying to a college or university, should they take these tests?
If you're planning to go to a four-year school, you should take the SAT or the ACT. Now, the SAT tests the verbal and the math, and the ACT is a little different because it not only tests the English and the math, but it also tests in the area of social studies and natural science. But you asked me if a senior should take the ACT or the SAT. If you're going to a four-year school, you should take one of these tests, especially if you're going next fall, and I hope that you've taken it already. If you're planning to go to a community college, and are anticipating going to a four-year school in 2 years, then you will be looking at, I should say, you'll be applying to a four-year school in approximately the fall of '83. So I would probably take the ACT or the SAT this spring.
I realize there are differences in the tests. Are the differences very big?
Well, it's what I explained. They're not that great. One of the examples that I use with the students, because I'm asked this question a lot, I'm asked whether you should take the SAT or the ACT. Well, there are two types of college tests, entrance tests. And it's like if you were to go out and buy a car, you would look at different types of cars, whether it was a Ford or a Chevrolet. And this is the same thing with the ACT or the SAT, is that it's up to you to choose the one that you want to take. I want to clarify that just a little bit, because each school, some of them will specifically ask for the ACT or the SAT, and you need to check in the application, the brochure or the pamphlet, to make sure that you are taking the right test for the school that you want to attend.
Okay, and the Antioch Community Scholarship Fund covers the majority of the scholarships available in Antioch. Could you give us some information on some of the other?
Okay, I'm glad you asked me about the Antioch Community Scholarship, but what I want to talk about is financial aid, because this month, right now, we have two applications that I am telling the seniors that it's very important that they complete by February 10th. The first one that I want to show you is called the Antioch Community Scholarship application. And this is very important if you have a B average or better, because the scholarships that come from the city of Antioch, from the people of Antioch, are administered through this committee. So be sure and get this application from the counseling office. Fill it out by February 10th. Okay? Now the next application, and you will hear a lot about this, and I'm sure in the papers, is what's called the Student Aid Application of California. This is how you apply for aid, I should say for grants through the federal government, the state, and also the colleges. And what's really important about this is we're not just talking about financial aid for a four-year school. We're talking about financial aid for the community colleges, for the vocational or the technical schools such as Heels or the Heels Institute of Technology or a welding school. And so it's very important that you fill this out by February 10th.
Ms. Jackson, we want to thank you very much for coming and sharing with us all these important things and taking time out of your busy schedule.
Well, you're welcome, but I do want to interrupt you and give some advice to the seniors out there that are concerned about financial aid. It's really important that you fill out the community scholarship application and the student aid, the California student aid application. But what I want you to know, there are many resources available here at this school. And we have the Career Center that has extensive information on the different colleges and on different careers. The counselors, we're happy to call for you if you want to find out something about one of the colleges or a university that you're interested in. But as last night we had a financial aid workshop, and as one of the speakers said, is use your resources. Call the people. They'll be happy to help you fill out this California student aid application. And that's the same with the counseling staff here. It's just really important that you come in and ask us, because we don't know what you're thinking if you don't come in. Thank you.
Thank you again, Mrs. Jackson.
Once again, we bring you Newsbreak with important and up-to-date information concerning our communities.
Hi, I'm Leslee Eichelbaugh, bringing you this week's Spotlight News. Contra Costa County plans to start a weekend program for drunken driving offenders. This program would enable them to work outside crowded jails. Offenders would put in 10 hours in public service jobs. A day's work would count as a full day of jail time. Sheriff Richard Renee said jobs would include cutting weeds and clearing trails. One advantage of the proposed program is offenders would spruce up county property. Another asset is that it would ease the overcrowding in the new 386-bed county jail in Martinez. The Sheriff's Department projects that up to 200 drunken drivers offenders would be arrested each month. Renee said without this program, the jail would be in, quote, dire straits, unquote. A tough new anti-drunken driving law that began January 1st is expected to increase the number of arrests. The law gives first-time offenders a choice. They may enroll in a $300 treatment program. They must spend at least 48 hours in jail or take a 90-day restriction on their driver's license. If they turn this down, offenders go directly to jail. They receive a sentence for 4 days to 6 months, and their licenses are revoked for 6 months. Many unfortunate families in Antioch had a merrier Christmas thanks to people who donated foods and gifts at local drops. The Antioch Ministerial Association delivered to 309 families Christmas baskets. This surpassed its 150 basket goal by more than 100%. These baskets contained items such as poultry, bread, eggs, milk, vegetables, candy, and $20 worth of canned goods. The Antioch Unified School District students and staff helped in gathering these canned goods. Park Junior High collected some 3,500 pounds of these goods. These children donated canned goods so that they could skate at the Antioch rink. In the difficult weeks and months ahead, emergency foods will be needed. So once again, the Antioch Ministerial Association is asking for residents to donate at least 1 can of food per week or month. You may bring your contributions to the Daily Ledger, the Antioch City Hall, or any local church. Antioch's new runaway shelter for teenagers plans to serve adults as well. Shirley Marchetti, director of REACH and sponsor of the Runaway House, says parents need temporary refuge in times of crisis. In December, the first month of the shelter's operation, 26 people called for help. REACH staffers were surprised by the number of calls from parents. Marchetti said some wanted help with finding their children, others sought advice for handling conflicts, and a few just needed someone to listen to their problems. Teenagers who called the REACH Runaway House needed solitude after battling with their parents. The REACH Runaway Hotline number during weekends and after hours is 754-3321. The number to call on weekdays from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. is 754-3673. This is Leslee Eichelbaugh with this week's Spotlight News.
This week we have a new addition to our Spotlight team. He's a guard on our varsity basketball team. You may have also heard his voice giving play-by-play commentary at this past football season. Here he is, Chris Allen.
Thanks, Lynn. I'm looking forward to being on the show. I'm here today with Vicky Gonzales, a junior forward of the Antioch High girls varsity basketball team. Vicky is also a standout for the girls softball and cross-country teams. Vicky, what is your outlook for the team in league play?
Well, at the beginning of the season, the basketball team got together and we predicted how we thought we would do in league play. And at that time, we thought we would take around 5th place at the best. But after our preseason games, we found out how capable we were of playing basketball. And so now we think we'll be able to take 1st, 2nd, or 3rd.
Do you think there's a difference in the style of play from junior varsity to varsity?
Well, for most teams there would be, but for our team there isn't really a big difference. Because we're the same team this year as we were last year. And so we pretty much have the same style. And our gameplay is basically the same as last year. But the only, I would say, big difference this year is that we're more aggressive. We have a more aggressive team.
Thank you, Vicky, and good luck on the season.
Thank you.
Also with me here today is senior wrestler Ken Maghuyop, who last year took second place in his weight class for the DVL. Obviously, Ken, you have some different moves to defeat your opponent. And congratulations on your win last Wednesday night. What moves do you use most often to win a match?
Usually it's a figure four from the down position. You stick in the arm bar, and when the guy tries to escape, you throw him back down, flatten him out, and you kind of stick your legs around his head to figure four, and then just pull up, and the shoulder just automatically go down to the mat.
Did you use this move last Wednesday did you win your match?
Yeah.
Right.
That's what I used, was a figure four, and tried to escape and just couldn't get out.
How do you know when your opponent is feeling tired?
Always just kind of slows down, always looking down at the mat, always looking at his coach, or
He's kind of hanging on to you more or less?
Yeah, just really slowing down.
Thank you, Ken, and good luck to you and the rest of the wrestling team on the rest of the season.
Okay, thank you.
Next with me here is Shannon Felix, a senior wrestler for the Panthers. Shannon, you've won your weight division the last 2 years in league, and you've already been to North Coast. Would you like to go farther than that this year?
Yes, I'd like to go to state for sure this year. Hopefully I'd like to place this year, since I already went to Coast 2 years. So I'll just go there. Hopefully I'll make it, place in the top 3 at Coast, and go to state. Maybe I could place there. That's my goal, though, to place.
Well, what teams do you feel will be the ones to beat this year in league?
Probably Clayton Valley, since we beat Pitt yesterday, and they're supposed to be one of the top contenders with us. But Clayton Valley, I heard they won last night, so they're going to be pretty tough. They're the team to beat for sure.
Thank you, Shannon. Good luck to you and the rest of the Panthers the rest of the season.
Thanks, Chris.
This week's Spotlight shares with you another intriguing interview with an Antioch High School student. She is a sophomore and has demonstrated tremendous spirit and strength of character in dealing with a physical handicap, and I think you will enjoy meeting her. Hi, this week we're putting the student spotlight on Tami Lucio. Tami is a victim of cerebral palsy. Tami, what caused your disability?
Brain damage.
When you were a baby?
Yeah.
How did it come about?
The umbilical cord wrapped around my neck, and I cut off the air to the oxygen, so I can breathe.
Okay. How do you feel about being disabled?
It's not very different, because I'm so used to being in a wheelchair that if I did walk, if I did walk before, it would be different.
Yes. How long have you lived here in Antioch?
About 16 years.
So all your life you've lived here in Antioch. What grade are you in, and what are some of your hobbies?
10th grade, and I like to draw Christmas cards, invitations for people that want them.
Do they pay you for it, or you just do it out of kindness?
I just do it.
What field are you interested in after you graduate from high school?
Computers, because my uncle is training me already for computers.
Does it seem to be pretty easy? Are you comfortable with it?
I'm comfortable with it because I really like math. I really like working with math.
Yes. I understand you joined a school drama club, the Golden Arch Players. Are you involved in any other activities in high school?
No.
Would you like to be?
Yeah, not at this time, no.
Why not at this time?
Because the math is really, it's a lot of work for me. I like to relax when I get home.
Do you have any other particular hobbies besides the ones that you've mentioned so far?
No.
Tami has a method of describing what it feels like to have cerebral palsy. I guess that's why you asked me to bring a rubber band.
Yeah, put it around your thumb, and around on your elbow. And try to write your name. But if you're right-handed, put it on
my left.
Yeah, right.
Okay. That's pretty awkward. Well, thank you, Tami. We've enjoyed having you for today's our segment. We will look forward to seeing you continue your success at Antioch High School. This is Tina Borophy thanking you for joining us on Student Spotlight. Now for our comedy spot, we bring you a free speech message with this week's Concerned Citizen.
Welcome to Speak Freely. The views of the individual do not necessarily represent all the views of women over 70. Speaking today is Miss Peabody.
In ancient times, the Indians used the sun to provide energies in the field and to warm them in the daytime. They said the sun was clean and free, and people could make the sun work for them. Well, maybe in those days they could, but you sure can't today. Matter of fact, I can't even get my son to clean his room, and he sure isn't free. Why, it costs me $500 a year just to feed my son. They say the sun is very powerful. Well, I could beat my son at arm wrestling any day. And what's this talk about putting the sun's energy into a solar collector? Could you imagine how much heat he could lose? Why, he could catch a pneumonia or something, or even catch a cold. I'm sure I wouldn't want my son to use all this precious energy for some dumb, greedy consumer. I hear they will use my son to run a car. Well, that's impossible because my son doesn't even have a license, and I want to know how much he will get paid for his job. Will he be drafted or forced into giving energy to the government, or will he be paid minimum wage? And if they do get this draft, what will stop them into drafting our daughters also? So now I urge you to sign my petition for nuclear energy instead of using our children. We can't let our youth go on down the drain like this. Remember, this is a democratic society.
The views expressed on Speak Freely may not necessarily represent the opinions of this station or management.
Our next segment, New Arrivals, will feature a hot new band called Red Assembly.
Hi, I'm Chris, and this is New Arrivals. On this segment, we introduce young up-and-coming bands that may well be the stars of tomorrow. Our first band is a group of students from Los Alamos High School in Walnut Creek. The lead of the group, Gibbs Chapman, is on lead guitar, Dan on drums, Jordy on bass, and Lisa on keyboards. Let's watch as the Red Assembly plays The Sage.
Before it comes of age, a silent
We'd like to thank all our guests and our crew who helped make this entire show possible.
In an upcoming special later this month, we will be taking a very special look at Mr. Panther and a close look at the Panther Rally.
We hope you enjoyed this week's edition of Spotlight.
And we hope we'll see all of you next week. Until then, have a nice day.